Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I have felt guided to share this for a bit of time now. I was just, waiting for the right time as spirit guides. For those of you who know what I'm up to recently, I'm launching a group program called Activate Your Voice. And so part of this sharing for me is me walking in integrity and sharing my voice as I feel led to do so. A little while ago, I did experience the bioweapon infection, and I'm not going to call it by the name that everyone else calls it. I am calling it the bioweapon infection because that's my experience of it. That's what I believe it is. And I'm going to share what I experienced on a spiritual level and as well as on a physical level too. But I think it's important right now to have a little bit of a deeper understanding of what this is and what is happening. So I started out with aches in my muscles and joints and bones, and I don't get sick, so I thought it was kind of weird. I didn't know what it was at first, and then I had a low-grade fever, and I started to understand what it was because I felt the spiritual nature of it. And it wasn't like a psychic attack, it was different than that, but I could feel that there were infiltrations being attempted in my body. And so what I did was I immediately went into transmutation mode, which means that I went into gratitude, thank you for this experience, and I went into transmutation, meaning bringing light, bringing love to the situation. And I was pretty steady with that the entire experience. But it was a spiritual battle. It was spiritual work to stay in a good space while my physical body was feeling different things. So one of the first things that I felt, aside from the aches in my joints and bones and such, was when I went into gratitude and transmutation mode, I felt a clearing begin. You can't see what I'm doing, but like I'm at my root. I felt a clearing begin from the bottom, and it slowly moved up over a course of, I don't know, a week and a half, something like that. I could feel, because I was approaching this as a spiritual experience, I could feel a clearing happening in my body, and it was actually kind of magical. Even though I was not feeling well and, under the weather and all of that, I could feel this really strong spiritual component to this clearing. And it was really beautiful. And I've noticed in my life since then, certain things have cleared out and, things in my body have changed a bit. So there was something I was going to say, going back to the clearing, and I know what it was. I felt a component of AI in all of this, artificial intelligence. And it felt like there was something in my body seeking out different weak points in my body. So I could feel it moving through my body. It went through my gut, it went through my lungs, it went through my kidneys, it went through my bones. It was like it was searching for weaknesses or parts of my body that weren't strong, like maybe they could invade here, or maybe it could take over something here. That's what it felt like. And so, of course, what I did with that was the transmuting. I was bringing in the violet flame, and I was bringing in the gratitude, and I was bringing in the love and the light, and just pouring the light into those parts so that whatever it was, whether it was AI or something else, whatever it was, wasn't able to get any part of my essence or get any control over my physical body. And the reason I speak about it this way is because I do feel that part of this whole experience we've been having for the past almost 2 years now is an agenda to see how much control they can get over humans, and to see how much harvesting can be done. Harvesting of our energy, harvesting of the soul, harvesting of the heart, whatever that is. And, I know that sounds conspiracy-ish and it sounds, really dark and everything. And, it is dark. But the point is that we have the power, not these AI bots or the nanotech or the graphene oxide or, whatever it is that is being attempted to be inserted into our bodies. We have the power over that. Our hearts, our spirits, our souls, that's where the strength is. That's where the power is. And when you use it in the way that I did, transformation can occur. And I do believe that that was my experience with the transformation that I've been experiencing since then. I've been flowing a lot more light. I've been experiencing changes in my body, better health, and changes in my endocrine system. And I have not yet fully sorted out my endocrine system. That's something that I'm still transmuting. Yeah, Mickey. Yeah, whatever it was, it couldn't match my frequency. And thank you for saying that. That's a really good point, because that's the attempt in harvesting our essence and harvesting our souls, however you want to put it. That's the attempt to get control over our frequency, because we are in an ascension process right now here on planet Earth. Planet Earth is in an ascension process. And if our frequency can be managed, if we can succumb to fear, then we can be controlled. And I've seen it in the spiritual community in shocking ways. Many people succumbing to the fear. Many people buying into the narrative, thinking that they're, doing something good for themselves, for each other. And it's all programming. It's amazing. Now, you could say, hey, I'm the one that's programmed. Well, maybe I am. But what am I programmed with? What frequency am I programmed with? I'm directly connected to Source. I work directly with Source, as do many of you. So, yeah, you could say that I'm programmed. But with what, right? And that's the difference. So I'm not programmed by mainstream news. I'm not programmed by any agenda other than to serve and assist people, other than to bring in the highest light possible. That's my role. I'm here to restore heaven on earth. So whatever I can do towards that end, that's what I'm here for. And I feel like that's also why I went through this experience, because the entire week before I had this infection, I was in prayer. I was in prayer to be of the highest service. I was in prayer to be used for the highest good. The entire week, you guys, I was in prayer to be in service. And then when this happened, that's when I knew I needed to go into gratitude. I needed to go into transmutation mode, because I knew at a very fundamental level what was being attempted with my body and what I needed to do to maintain that frequency that Mickey mentioned, to maintain that frequency so that I couldn't be touched. And because I did that, I came out even better. Like, I came out on the other side stronger, with more health, more spiritual strength. That warrior aspect of me, like, you're not gonna fuck with me. You can't have any part of me. You can't have any part of my soul or my essence. I'm not here for that. I'm here to be in integrity with the light, period. And so there was a lot of boundary setting. I remember, I don't know, it was probably about a week into it, I felt it trying to get a hold of my lungs. And I was like, no, that's my breath. That's my inspiration. That's my essence. Can't touch that. And I immediately started nebulizing with silver. Thank you, Alyssa, for the silver. I immediately started nebulizing and just doing that several times a day. And I believe that saved my life, maybe, because it was a very strong boundary that you don't get to touch my lungs. You don't get my breath and my essence. And I am still, like occasionally I have a cough or congestion, just minor congestion in my lungs. You might hear it in my voice right now. There is still some transmutation to be done with that. But, the suffering that some people have gone through with this infection, mine was very mild. One, because I keep myself very healthy. We don't have to get into it. There's a lot of things that I do to maintain my health. But two, because of the approach I took with it. And I'm not saying everyone who takes a spiritual approach with this infection will come out on the other side doing even better than they went in, but that is possible. And it just depends on, your constitution, how you've taken care of yourself, your ability to transmute, your approach to the situation, your own soul path. There's many factors. So there's no judgment if you've had a really horrible experience with this. It's not because you're lacking or not spiritual enough or something like that. Don't go there. Everyone has a different path. But I wanted to share my experience with this infection because it is a very powerful testimonial to the power of frequency and to the power that we have within our hearts, within our souls, within our minds. When we apply our spiritual tools and practices to everyday experiences, like what's going on the planet right now, then we can develop strength on the spiritual path. And that's part of my experience with this. Now give me a moment here. I just want to think about what I really want to say next. The invitation here in all of this is to reclaim our souls. The invitation is to be so aware and so connected with our soul essence that when something like this comes along, it's not of your soul. You know what's you and you know what's not you. And that is everything as we move forward on this planet, because there are so many agendas being unrolled. There are so many attempts to harvest our energy. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just like, this is what's happening. This has been happening for a long time. This is nothing new. It's just ramping up. It's been ramping up for the past several years, really significantly. So what is needed, what we all need to do, is to cultivate a deeper connection with our soul so that as these things unfold, we know what's ours and what's not. And we reclaim our energy and essence and our soul, and we anchor it into our body, and we ground it into Mother Earth. And you guys, all this work, all these things that I'm talking about, all this is in the Creation Temple. There are 5 years of videos, activations, meditations that I provide for you to help you do the things that I'm saying right now. It's too much to go into this video to explain how to do it and everything, but it's all in the Creation Temple. I've laid it all out. There are so many resources I have to support you. So the most important thing right now is to be deeply connected with our souls, why we're here, what we're here to do. If you don't know, I can help you with that. We can do a session. You can join the group program, Activate Your Voice.1. I have so many resources. But this is also something that you can do on your own just by bringing more awareness into your life and noticing, is this something that I enjoy? Is this something that I desire? Is this something that resonates with me? Or is this something that I don't want in my life anymore? Know what is you and know what is not you. And this is difficult for empaths, I get it. This is, as an empath with extreme sensitivity, I have a very high level of sensitivity, which enables me to do what I do with my clients. But in everyday life, I understand it is a challenge to discern what's yours and what's not. But you can do it. It is doable. I'm living proof that it is doable. And it is really important right now if you're someone who watches the news, if you're someone who, whether it's alternative news or mainstream news, it's all programming. If you're someone who engages with that, to, in those moments, does this resonate? Is this part of my soul? Is this who I am? Or is this something else? And, you know, in the spiritual community, we talk about oneness, and you know, we don't want to be separate, and we don't want to buy into the separation. And yeah, we don't want to buy into the divide and conquer agenda and turn against each other. That's for sure. But it is okay to individuate. It is okay to have your own knowing of who you are. It is okay to, and it is important to know and understand your soul. I talked in a recent video about knowing the voice of your soul. And that's something that most of us aren't in touch with. It's just, you know, we're not taught that. We're not taught how to listen to the voice of our soul. So I would ask you, do you know the voice of your soul? Because when that infection came in, I knew that was not the voice of my soul. And I knew the voice of my soul. And I knew my soul would prevail over this attempt to harvest my essence. I knew it with every part of my being, and that is what got me through even in the toughest moments of being sick. And, you know, people say, well, are you sure that's what you had, Susie? Like, maybe it was just a flu or whatever. And it's like, I don't get sick. I haven't been sick for years. And I've never, even when I have been sick, I've never experienced anything like this. This had a completely different energy template. This had a completely different frequency. This was something that there was something artificial. And the only thing I can think of is artificial intelligence, but there was something so artificial about it. So not of life, not of light. There was not life in it. It was artificial is the only word I can really come up with, you guys. So anyway, I hope that me sharing this experience gives you maybe a new perspective, or affirms your perspective, or it gives you something to think about. You know, it is somewhat, I don't want to say scary, I don't want to claim that, but it is somewhat, you know, for me to put my voice out there about this, because there is so much dissension in the lightworker community, and I don't want to contribute to that. It is, you know, maybe not the best choice for me to share. However, as I said in the beginning of this video, I need to walk my talk when it comes to activating the voice, because I am running a group program about activating your voice. And certain things need to be said right now. Certain things need to be heard right now. And I do happen to be a channel that can bring through some truth. And so my invitation, again, cultivate your connection with your soul and discern what resonates with you or not. If what I've said in this video doesn't resonate, that's fine. Move on. Go to someone with whom you resonate. I don't care. But if this resonates, then listen to what I'm saying, that you have the power with your soul, with your heart, with your mind, with your spirit. We as humans have the power to prevail and to embody more and more light. So I love you all. I appreciate you all. Check out activateyourvoice.one. Join my group program. It's going to be epic. Oh, you guys, the depth to which I can serve in that sacred container of the group program is going to be absolutely amazing. It's really, really going to help you to free up your own voice, to hear the voice of your soul, to know what needs to be said, to have the discernment about what doesn't need to be said, to be grounded with your voice, to be anchored with your essence. We're going to cover so much: inner child healing, ancestral healing. You're going to learn how to access your ancient wisdom so that you can bring that through your voice. This is for moms, this is for practitioners, this is for leaders, people who speak on stage already, people who don't but want to. This is for you if it resonates with your soul. So check out activateyourvoice.one, and I look forward to serving you more deeply. Much love.